Welcome back to One Piece Anime Review, episode number 279. This we're discussing the 1045th episode of the series, Curse, Kid and Zoro's Looming Threat. That, I believe, is the name of the episode. Oh, a spell, Kid and Zoro facing threats. Okay. Now, this episode covers basically from chapter 1022. Basically about 13 straight pages, pages 2 through 14 of the chapter. Now, there is a bunch of stuff going in this episode, a lot of whom don't last very long. If you think about it, of all the stuff going in this episode, okay, let me start with basically characters not in this episode. That you do not see them the whole episode, outside of a recap. And that's Robin, Brook, Usopp, Nami, and Jinbei. These 5 are not here. Nope. The only Straw Hats see the whole episode are Luffy, Zoro, Chopper, and Sanji. And that's it. Now, let's start with Sanji. We see him basically fighting Queen. And of course, Vince Smokey makes him mad. He gets tossed to the side. And of course, him and King, who apparently sort of in a way knocked out Marco, but Marco's back. Don't worry about that. And of course, they decided to do something complete anime original. They decided to go and try to kill the people who turned on the Animal Pirates. And the first person King tries to kill is the Gorilla Man. Yes. As far as if he killed the other ones, I don't know, because they see a bunch of dead bodies there, because these are all the people who turn on them. So basically, they decided to kill them all until they can find Zoro. So Sanji gets up, of course, proceeds to kick Queen and continues their fight. King eventually does find Zoro, chases after him. Of course, the episodes end with Zoro basically still being held in that bounding, still worried about the whole super healing drug. And of course, Chopper is to be killed by Tristan, and of course, Mogi's there too, chasing after them. And that's it for that segment. In the case of where the episode actually starts off, it starts off with Renzo in the former of the Omiyama one, where they basically just do all their ninja stuff, the clone jutsu, which, yes. And it is so obvious, though, that Oda created this character specifically to be basically a thank you for Naruto, for giving people Naruto for 15 years. So he wanted to keep the ninja craze still happening, so he created a character that basically takes ideas from Naruto. Like, for example, the purple rope that he wears. That's obviously the same rope that Orochimaru wears in Naruto. Him using the Shadow Clone Jutsu, Naruto's move. Though the one thing that they never said in the show was Nin Nin. That was something they made up for One Piece. But it's Oda basically just giving giving a thank you for that. Or, I mean, he considers Kishimoto a frenemy of his. They're basically close acquaintances, so basically he has no... from what I can tell, I've never heard Kishimoto ever come on and say that he hates Renzo, per se. I mean, heck, Renzo is voiced by an actor from the Naruto anime. In the sub, he's voiced by Mike Guy's sub actor. In the dub, he's voiced by somebody else. If you're curious, though, who the heck voices Renzo in the frickin' dub for One Piece? It's a guy by the name of Andrew Kisho. Yeah, he's the one who's voicing him. Now, why in the world they chose this guy instead of, I don't know, what would make total sense given the fact Viz Media's close relationship with, of all people, Viz Media? You would think it might be a good idea to bring in the dub actor from My Guy. Nope, they don't do it. Don't know why they don't do it. It's just kind of weird. I don't really know the exact reason for him not doing it. Because Mitch Ebera is in fact the sub actor for My Guy. Yes. Oh yeah, he voiced the character that actor is from somebody from Naruto. The guy voiced Mori. Yep. That's who this guy, Andrew Kisho, voiced. So, they brought someone from Naruto, but not My Guy. No. Yeah. So they fight, and of course, still a lot of attack going on. I love the fact the other guy uses his earlobe, his long earlobe for combat, and that's it for that one. Let's see what other things happen this episode. Oh yeah, we do see Cat Vapor, or basically he comes completely out of nowhere to attack Pespero, where he's about to fire an arrow at Sanji. Of course, he does reference Whole Cake here. He's like, "You should have married Pet Pudding." And then he gets attacked by Cat Vapor as revenge for Pedro. Yep. Was there anything else? Oh yeah. By the way, Kaido was not in the episode. We do see by the way, we do see two concurrent fights going at the same time. Here we have Killer versus Basil Hawkins, and the other fight is Big Mom in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Warriors taking on the team of the unlikely duo of Captain Kidd and Trafalgar Law. Kidd is basically doing a lot of the action here, while in the case of Law, he's basically just some parts. At one point, he gets stabbed. You might think, what the heck happened here? Well, it's explained in the other scene where you have Killer taking on Basil Hawkins, where like every time he attacks me, he redirects the attack to somebody else. And this last attack went directed toward Captain Kidd. As for why in the world this was, he just felt like it. Yep. And, well, let's see what else. Oh, yeah. By the way, in case you're wondering, is Otama in the episode? Aside from the fact she's mentioned, and of course, in the recap, no, she's not making a first appearance in the episode, surprisingly. Nope. But, yeah, that's pretty much it here. Yeah, several segments going on here. If you think, what was probably the longest one of all these ones? I would say the segment, the two major segments that were actually really long was the two concurrent fights. We had the Basil Hawkins and Killer, and the other one being Big Mom versus Kid and Law. That one lasted for good about 5 minutes. And of course the stuff on the performance floor. But the scene with Renzo and the formerly Obi-Wan one, that's like just a couple minutes. It's like really short. Yep. I'm trying to think. I think I covered pretty much everything with this episode. Oh, there is one other thing I've got to mention here about this episode. There's a brief scene in the episode where you have Shinobu basically, like you have Luffy where he's basically just ready to go. But yeah, Luffy, his appearance in the episode is this. He finishes eating up the food that Konobu gave him, and he's like ready to go. And Momo proceeds to finish up his effect on the ripple fruit. Now in the manga, they only showed just from the backside. In the anime, they show a little bit more they did in the manga, where they show the fact that he has a freaking sex pack. Okay. And of course, basically, that show was amazed by it. But here's the thing. They do not show his face. They do bring up here he does look like Odin, per se. Yes. Odin is mentioned once in the episode, but the line where Shinobu is bringing up the whole thing of basically Momo looking like his father, that was not in the episode. It's probably going to be there for next episode, which surprisingly will not air for at least for 3 weeks after, well, this past Sunday. There's no new episode tomorrow, and there's none on New Year's Day. Next week is not airing until the second Sunday of next month. But we'll still get some manga, so there's that for you. Yep, so that's pretty much the episode review. Next episode is going to be Uzuki-chan wants to hang out. The reason I'm doing like that, instead of going straight to, let's say, Baruto, the reason is because that got released today, and it's not Funimation. Just get the Funimation done first, because I'm on Funimation, and then worry about Bleach, do that afterwards, and all the rest just Crunchyroll. And the first one I'll do Crunchyroll will be Baruto, okay? Until see you next week, which will be Uzuki. Okay, bye.